So, there's a few things I want to say before I start this video. Um, I'm not making videos for fame, likes, shares, whatever the case may be. I'm actually doing this because I find it therapeutic. When you talk to someone, from what I noticed, they kind of want to put their 2 cents in, and then they make their life or their situation seem far more tragic than yours. So, when you try to talk to someone, you want them to listen more than to interject, unless if you ask them for advice or whatever. um so that's why I'm making these videos, because I find it therapeutic. If you if anyone happens to come across my page or my channel or anything in nature, and you find it useful, cool, use it. I highly encourage it. Second, I want to talk about which is the main topic, is rape and you know accusing or being accused of rape. Also, I also want to note that I am 30 years old. My mother had me at the age of 12. I also have five half siblings, and three of them are also female, and I'm the oldest. There's me, then there's one sister that's 29, almost 30. Then the one below that is 28, and then the youngest one just turned 10. So, with that being said, I have a lot of females in my family that I'm directly close to. So even though my mom is 12 years older than me, she is at the age where she's pretty much an older sister. If you put it side by side, people will say she's a sister or she might be my girlfriend. Um, but she is my mom, and I am a walking experiment gone wrong. Don't want to admit it, but truth is a hard pill to swallow. So I'm a mistake. I accept that. I own that. Now, to the main topic, rape. So I don't know if I did, but I previously discussed how I'm going to explain all of my ex-girlfriends and why I am the way that I am, and how I feel when it comes to like dating and marriage and all that stuff, and trust. So when I was 19 years old, um, I I started to go out with this girl named Nicole. We met in college, at a community college, and me and Nicole, when we first met, we actually really hated each other. Like, well, I hated her. Uh, Dropped out of college, because I got distracted with life. Instead of focusing on my education, I focused on making quick money at regular retail stores, which is a big mistake. But anyways, that aside, I uh, I also met up with her again, probably like 6 to 9 months later, on a bus. When I saw her, I was like, this freaking, but we got to know each other on a civil level, and then I liked her, and then I just started going out with her. So I was living on my own. She visited here and there, slowly started moving her stuff in. Fast forwarding, she has a history of domestic violence in her home, with her parents. And when someone talks about a situation all the time, and there are no results and nothing gets done, you kind of wonder if it's true or not, or if you as a friend or family member should intervene in some way, shape, or form. So after she kept saying how her dad did this, her mother did that, they both are doing this, and I'm thinking like, why is anything being done? Um, Sometime uh in a relationship, I felt that she liked me because she wanted a title, not that she liked me as an actual person. So, I broke off with her to see if she could actually grow as a person. Probably within 3 months, she met another dude named Mike, and then as a guy, couldn't have that shit, So I chased her back. The chase continued until probably um, I want to say like early to mid 2013. She mentioned that her mother beat her up, and when she gave me the call, I'm like, as messed up as a sound, I'm like, hey, like there's nothing new, like tell me something different. So we both had a mutual friend, remember that word, named Victoria, who owned a boutique shop right around the corner from where I live. So she said that she's with Victoria, and I'm like, all right, well, if you're there, just I live literally like 400 to 500 feet down the freaking street. Just come on by. So when she came and rang the doorbell, I answered it, and I see that she had like a swollen eye, the freaking size of a softball. She was holding her shoulder, and I'm like, this kind of went too far. Like she talked about it, but I didn't know how bad it was until her parents took it far. So I told her to call a non-emergency number. She called a non-emergency number. West Haven Police took their time. At that time, I was also training to be a Connecticut State Trooper. Um, I was actually trying to get into law enforcement in general, but at the time, my application was with the state police. So when they took their time, because she did call the non-emergency number. So I was like, they're taking, way too long. So let me just go to the gym before it closes down. So I told her as soon as the police arrives, give me a call. So she tried to call me, but I guess the police, West Haven Police, thought that I was the one who did it. So they kind of like shut that down, and they hauled her off to the hospital. And then she kept explaining that that it was her mom. The next day, the police went to her mother's job and arrested her on site. It's the Pez factory, the candy Pez. Her mom works at the Pez factory, and the very next morning they arrested her mom on site, and then they kicked her out. So I'm at work, so people are gonna come in and out for dumb shit for whatever reason, which they should be in freaking bed, but it is COVID, so there's really nothing better to do. So I'm just gonna pause this, and I'll be right back. It is my job, so, but still, it's like stay home, you know, COVID, like nobody. Then there's that one person that just, anyways, um, so as I was saying, they arrested her mom on site. So her mom was pretty embarrassed, and uh, the mom and dad kicked her out of the home. So me being the boyfriend, um, and I didn't really want anyone living with me because in between there was this. So before I broke up with her the first time, there was a girl named Melissa that was living with us from New York, and she had a boyfriend named Joe, and they just argued all the time. They, I wasn't supposed to have anyone. The lease stated that I'm not supposed to have anyone living with me, and you know, I did. So, I had to shut it down, and Nicole also was like slowly moving her stuff in, you know. So I kind of had to shut that down too. You know, she didn't think I knew she was like slowly moving in, but I was paying attention. But anyways, fast forwarding. So, I didn't really want anyone, moving in with me or living with me. I kind of wanted my own space, and let's see. All right, we're clear. So, I wanted my own space, and but as a boyfriend, it's kind of like, what do you choose? Do you choose your own selfish desire, or do you help out your girl? The test was like right there. So I made the ultimate call, and I was like, fuck it. I can't see my girl, homeless. Like, that's fucked up. You know, like, she lives with me. Then if my landlord finds out, break the lease, and I'll be homeless with her. At least I did my part as a man. And so she moved in with the help of her aunt and myself, because her aunt lived with her too. And before Nicole moved in, I told her from the very beginning, like, hey, this is temporarily. You know, I'll give you like 3 to 6 months. I'll save some money on the side to even help you. Nicole said that she didn't trust herself with money, so every paycheck that she got, she wanted me to hold. Didn't feel comfortable with it, but I did. Um, so Nicole didn't really knew what the cost of living really is, because all her life, all she did was just had someone pay the rent, someone pay the lights, someone pay the gas, someone pay this. So adult life didn't really kick in until she refused to leave after 6 months, and things were getting kind of desperate on my end, and I did what I had to do. I'm breaking my lease. you know Risking you staying here. You clearly don't want to leave because you feel that I'm eventually going to change my mind and you know have that Disney fairy tale ending. So fuck it. Just pay me something on the side, and I'm gonna still keep extra money on the side from my paycheck too, just so if things does go south, you still have money to pretty much leave and find a new apartment of your own. So, those that are not from Connecticut, it's really not a cheap place. I promise you. I promise you, it's not a cheap place at all. Like, you will be living paycheck to paycheck. You might even be borrowing money. So fast forwarding, um, you know, and like at the end of 2013, like towards the no, because I want to get everything as accurate as I can. Um, I broke up with her again. So at that point, she became a roommate. Um, I broke up with her because you know um, the arguments started happening all the time. I come from work. You know, in my head, I'm thinking like, I know there are things you don't like, but you have to understand. This is my cave. You know, like, if you really don't like it, you really can go. So just kept going back and forth, and I'm like, you know what, fuck this. I'm just done. You know, So even though we broke up, we still did couple things. I admit that. Even though we broke up, I also slept with other, like, 4 or 5 other women in the time being between 2013 and 2017. Um, man, there is so much. There is so much to say about Nicole. Like, let me tell you, and it's not even like we're like what 15 minutes and 35 seconds in, and just her, like I could write a whole entire freaking book with about a relationship with her alone. Like, I had other bad relationships, but um, I really feel that she was the one who kind of like made it diff- difficult for other women, you know. Um, yeah, she and her other friends, my friends too, you know, um, and my family members, they knew that I really wanted to be a cop, and there was an opening in Anchorage, Alaska. So I went to Alaska um, to help, and you know, um, like 3 days prior or a week prior, I have a friend named Christina. And we're still friends till this day, kind of. Um, you know, she told me that she was pregnant, and she thinks it could have been me or two, maybe three other guys. And I'm like shit. Like, even though me and Nicole are not together, you know, even though she's just my roommate, she still has a right to know, I guess. So I told her, I told Nicole. Nicole said that she's also pregnant too, and I'm like, so I'm like, oh fuck, like I'm not ready to be a father. It was 2013. I'm like, I'm not ready to be a fucking father. I have so much to do, places to see, things that I was not in the right place, and I said some very very hurtful stuff to Nicole. When she said she was pregnant, I was like, listen, you know, if you keep the child, you're you're going to be a single mother. I'm letting you know that right now. Like, first off, this is a 1 bedroom apartment. If you think that you're going to have a child living in a 1 bedroom apartment, you're wrong. I told you this was temporary. I wanted you to move out a long time ago. You made yourself at home, and this is what's happening. So I guess you could say that I I was the reason why she had an abortion, and um I found out. Well, she told me later on that whether she wanted to keep it or not, she had no choice but to get it aborted because it was growing in the wrong place. So, and if the baby grew, it would have killed her. So, you know, it was as messed up as it sounds. I guess it worked out in my favor. But because of that, um, like I said, even though me and Nicole were broken up, we still did a couple things, and we still had sex. If there was a girl who didn't want to deal with me at the time, or she had a boyfriend or something like that, uh, I went back to Nicole because she was there. It was convenient, and sometimes she was in the mood, sometimes she wasn't. If she wasn't in the mood, then she wasn't in the mood. I just would turn on porn. But if I turn on porn, then I'm the bad guy. If I masturbate, I'm the bad guy. So, like, what do you want? Do you want me to You want to fuck or what? Like, I don't fucking get it. Like, make up your mind. Anyways, I'm gonna fast forward this to 2016. So 2016, I got my first motorcycle, um, and a bunch of my friends did too. I was very inexperienced. I broke my ankle, and Nicole and on-call nurses definitely took care of me while I was recovering. Um, Nicole definitely came in clutch, and I respect that. I respect the fuck out of that. As I started to recover a little bit, I was, walking with a cane, very slowly. It really hurt. Christmas came around. My great grandmother was still around. May she rest in peace. Love that lady to death. And so I was very distant with my family, and I decided to, I guess, find a way to rekindle my relationship with my family. Especially knowing that my great grandmother might pass away. And anyways, so after I recovered, I'm like, listen, like, I'm 26, turning 27. Like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I'm working all these security jobs. Like, I need something. I need to do something. I need adventure. And try to join the Air Force. The Air Force said I was too fat. Eventually wound up with the Navy. Um, During the time between 13 and 17, Nicole was asking me, when can we get back together. I told her I will let her know, and she was like, how would we know? And I was like, trust me, you will know. I would literally tell you up front, can we try this again? And when I knew that the joining the Navy was a sure thing, um, I felt that maybe me and Nicole could start all over. So the closer I I got to joining the Navy, the more distant and cold she became. You know, and I realized, and before I joined the Navy too, I also had to renew the lease. But the landlord that I had was he was pretty much a slumlord, and he was a scumbag. Everyone had a poker face until his time, and he renewed the lease with Nicole instead of me, which made me have to leave. So, yeah, I could have stayed. I could have fought it. I could have made the landlord, pay for a marshal to get me evicted or anything like that. But I didn't need no eviction on my freaking. I just didn't need it. I didn't have time for that. I was joining the Navy anyway. So, um, as soon as I lost the apartment to Nicole, um, that's when everything flipped. Instead of her begging me to be back with her, she was like, "Stay away, stay away, stay away." You know, she said that I made her get 3 abortions, and I'm like, wait, 3? You know, where what? And she was like, yeah, because I didn't tell you about the other 2 because I knew you were gonna make me abort it anyway. And I get where you're coming from with that, but the first one, that was me. That was rude, cruel, all that. You know, I frankly had no place to even say shit like that. You know, um, Now that I'm all grown up and I guess wiser, 3 years wiser. Sorry, that's a lie. 7 years wiser. I had no place. And then, just everything, all the arguing back and forth, and I couldn't really reason with her anymore. And then Nicole said that I raped her in 2016. So I get you're angry. I I get that I said some messed up stuff. I get I wasn't the perfect boyfriend or the perfect roommate or anything like that. I admit that. I had my flaws. But here's how I see it. I see that if someone did something so heinous to you, you should definitely call the cops. Whether you're very, very close to them or you don't even know that person, the cops should definitely know. Nicole told people that I raped her, that I beat her, that I put my hands on her, that her living with me for 6 or 7 years was a nightmare. Now, I've been trying to kick you out of my house. I've been telling you you have to leave. You know, how is you living with me a nightmare? Then it makes me think about her parents. Like, was her parents really the bad people? Like, I don't know. There's always two sides to every story, but the truth will always be in the middle. But I want to be as candid as I can and put both sides out there as best as I can. And when she said that I raped her on Christmas in 2016, I'm like, you are aware that I was with my whole entire family at the time. People were doing what the fuck was that challenge? The freeze, the mannequin, yeah, the mannequin challenge. Yeah, there we go. Like we were doing a mannequin challenge and everything, like, you know, and it's like I know I wasn't the best boyfriend out there, but you just don't do that. You don't put another human being in that position. Holy crap, this might be a two-part video. We're like 28 minutes in. um you just don't do that. You don't just casually accuse a man of rape and all the things that you see. I have a mother. I can't do things like that to another female knowing that it could be my mom, it could be my little sister. My little sister at the time was 2, I think. Maybe I'm a bad brother, you know and then I have other, little sisters, and my sisters, my 2 older sisters, they have kids themselves. And it's like I can't I can't see that I can't see that happening to them. Why would I put myself in a situation where I'm doing that to someone else's daughter, or wife, or girlfriend, or whoever, someone's sister? I can't do that. And for her, and for women to casually, like, accuse a man of rape out of anger is fucked up. So, all right. So let me make another video because this one is getting